I'm here to introduce a person that I've known for a really long time. She's a compassionate and dedicated individual for our Virginia Senator. She was running for the Democratic Socialist Party, Samantha Mitchell.
All right. Hi, my name is Samantha Mitchell, and I'm a representative from the Democratic Socialist Party. Now, I could sit here and ramble on about my successes and why I'm qualified for this position, but instead I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. As a child having only one sibling and being surrounded by adults, I grew up listening to debates and complaints at the dinner table. Therefore, I was very aware of the problems that our country faced. However, I pushed the politics aside and I delved into my studies instead. I went on to become an environmental scientist and led a life where I was content. But on the side, I would always read and educate myself on the flaws of our government. But I would also never take initiative to actually make any change. This all flipped when I was around 28 years old and had my first child with my husband. At this pivotal point in my life, it became very evident to me that I could no longer sit on the sidelines and just watch my country crumble into a million pieces. I immediately made efforts to get involved, and my level of political efficacy tripled overnight. I started small by going to protests and hosting rallies, and eventually I moved up to lobbying. But all of those things didn't result in any substantial success. So I went on to serve two successful years as the mayor of Richmond. But even then I continually felt that I could do more for the greater good. That has led me here, 6 years later, to where I am, standing today in front of you, running to be your next U.S. Senator. If I were to be elected for this position, there are things that I want to preserve and other issues I want to tackle head on and eliminate. One of the things I feel passionately about preserving is governmental funding of Planned Parenthood. This topic is a touchy one for many because they believe supporting this organization immediately means that they condone abortions, which is completely missing the purpose. Planned Parenthood is one of the nation's leading providers for affordable health care for women and men alike. And it's the nation's largest provider for sex education. For all the people who are pro-life, you have to understand to truly fix an issue, you have to start at the root of the problem. And the root of the abortion issue is that millions of teens are just ignorant to the birth control options that are out there for them and the dangers of unprotected sex. On the other hand, a problem that I would like to resolve is the war on drugs. The criminalization of things such as marijuana put thousands of poor people in prisons yearly for petty crimes. For this reason, I would like to fight to decriminalize marijuana. Furthermore, the inequality of public education system goes hand in hand with this issue. Low-income areas get the bottom of the barrel when it comes to teachers and curriculum. Even the brightest students in a low-income area still aren't still are at a significant disadvantage to other adolescents their age. Between this inherent drug exposure and lackluster education, the system we currently live in shackles and cripples these people and is the reason that poor people will forever stay poor until something drastic is done. I will work tirelessly to reverse this sickening trend. I will work to end the war on drugs and to enact a system entitled Better Education and Better Communities for a Better Future, which will slowly but surely bring higher quality resources, standards, and stricter teacher evaluations in conjunction with supporting a chain of rehabilitation centers to aid these underprivileged people, most of whom are addicted to more harsh substances than marijuana and that are exposed into their communities. This all to ensure that our kids and our kids' kids are not exposed to these deadly substances at such a young age and will have the access to higher education of learning that they deserve, whether they are in a wealthy community or if they're less fortunate. In addition to those matters, we also need to reform our current policies dealing with climate change. As I stated earlier, we need to fix issues by starting at the root. And frankly, we will not have roots, period, if we don't start acting as if the earth we inhabit matters. We are now on our planet's sixth major extinction period called the Holocene, and the severity of the situation can no longer be ignored. To put it into context, the last major extinction was when the dinosaurs went extinct. So the difference between this extinction and the past 5 extinctions is that this is the first one ever caused by anything other than a natural occurrence. This one is being triggered directly from human impacts and like things that we're doing on Earth. If elected, I will try to slow this process by starting a Plant Lives Matter policy that will influence communities to grow plants and enact a carbon tax to encourage an eventual clean energy route. All in all, you should vote for a candidate who has your best interests at heart, someone who is driven and knows how to get things done, someone who doesn't take no for an answer, yet is also open-minded enough to know when to compromise, to actually invoke change rather than stand stubborn and stagnant. Vote for someone who is not your typical politician trained to persuade and manipulate your emotions, but someone who is just a regular person concerned about our country's future. So vote for me, Samantha Mitchell, and join the movement where we're fostering a change for a brighter future.